From the Prefontaine Classic that took part in Eugene yesterday. And now let's move into the Kenya Premier League, where Aston Asia and Alan Wanga propelled Kakamega Homeboys to a 2-0 win over Tusker FC in a Kenya Premier League match that was played at the Ruaraka grounds in Nairobi.
Alan Wanga has a touch on it. Then it's picked up on the right side. Looking for a chance to bring it across. That's very well laid out. Yanni's a chance, it's in the net! Alan Wanga ultimately gets onto it. He has struggled all through this game. The Kakamega side have not won it before. Alan Wanga has a touch on it. Then it's picked up on the right side. Looking for a chance to bring it across. That's very well laid out. Yanni's a chance, it's in the net!
Of course, Alan Wanga enabling Kakamega Homeboys to get that 2-0 win over Tusker FC yesterday at Ruaraka grounds right here in Nairobi. So let's take a look at the other match that was played yesterday. Remember, we had two fixtures on the cards in the Kenya Premier League yesterday. So we take a look at the other match of the day, which was a Miller's Derby. Sony Sugar taking on Chemelil Sugar, where Sony Sugar ended up getting a 1-0 win over Chemelil Sugar. The other match of the day, of course, was the feature match that we've just given the results between Tusker FC and Kakamega Homeboys, where Kakamega Homeboys got a 2-0 win over Tusker FC. But this afternoon, we have 6 matches on the card. So let's take a look at the matches that we expect to spice up the Kenya Premier League this afternoon. The 6 matches, remember, they are being played across the country, and Kariobangi Sharks takes on Bandari FC. Posta Rangers against Nakumat. Ulinzi Stars versus Sofapaka, which will be played at the Afra Stadium in Nakuru. These are not the only matches this afternoon. Remember, the league champions, that is Gor Mahia, and will be playing away in Mombasa. Vihiga United takes on Thika United, and then Wazito FC takes on Nzoia Sugar. Those are the fixtures for this afternoon in the Kenya Premier League. Remember, 5 fixtures on the cards this afternoon. Yesterday we had 2 matches taking place, but this afternoon 5 fixtures we have in the Kenya Premier League. Now, let's shift gears from Kenya Premier League into some rugby action. And this afternoon on Scoreline, we'll be talking about Kitui Sevens, but that will be in a few. We'll be speaking to the representatives, rather officials of Kitui Sevens, which is exactly 6 days from now. We'll be speaking to the officials on what to expect in this year's edition, which is the 2nd edition of the tournament. But before we get into that, yesterday, the national 15s team, that is the Simbas, were in action away in Uganda in the Elgon Cup, and they managed to get a 43-16 win over Uganda. So let's take a look at the results and who are the scorers for Kenya. We take a look at the results from yesterday's match, which ended 43-16 in Kenya's favor. Kenya getting a win in Elgon Cup. And these were Simba's top try scorers in the matches that were played yesterday. Jacob Oje gave Leo Seje, Oliver Mangeni, Elkins Musonye and Biko Adema were the try scorers for Simba in the Elgon Cup match that was played yesterday away in Uganda. Kenya getting a 43-16 win over the host away in Uganda. That was the score of the matches that were played yesterday. So let's move away from what the results of what Simba recorded yesterday and move into some Africa Sevens, where Kenya Lionesses ran in 7 tries to beat Senegal 41-0 in the opening match of the Africa Sevens on Saturday, May 26, 2018 in Botswana. Sinada Aura bagged a brace, while Grace Adhiambo, Fila Orlando and Janet Okello were also on the score sheet. Defending champion South Africa pulled out of the tournament as they are preparing for the 7th World Series in USA.
Space again on the outside. The captain gets it out to the wing. And that's a great little handoff. We actually don't have a name for the number 14 of Kenya, but she's going to go all the way. And Madagascar will be very upset with the opportunity that they had. They had all the pressure on Kenya They've allowed it slip, and Kenya have gone the full length of the field to dot down under the posts to extend their lead.
With that sidestep, beating the defender and running it in under the posts for 5 points. Half time here, Kenya 21, Madagascar 0. Madagascar has shown that they're here to play, Dirk, but
so Kenya said that's the Kenya women's sevens team. That is the Lionesses were in action yesterday, and also today they were in action. They were playing the semi-finals a few minutes ago. Of course, we'll be getting the confirmation whether they've qualified to the finals of the Africa Women's Sevens in a few. But let's take a look at the results from the matches that were played yesterday and also this morning, the matches that Kenya's Lionesses took part in. And we take a look from the first match that Lionesses took part in yesterday. And probably if we can take a look at the result, remember the first match was a 41-0 win before getting a, let me just confirm, before, okay, so we take a look at the results. Kenya getting a 41-0 win over Senegal, then a 2-0, a 42-0 win over Madagascar. And then this morning, Kenya got a 43-7 win over Zimbabwe. And in the semi-final that was taking part a few minutes ago, we'll be getting the confirmation whether Kenya has qualified into the finals of the Africa Women's Sevens that is taking part in Botswana. We'll be getting a confirmation about that. So still on rugby, let's move to Prescott Cup. Remember, Prescott Cup is taking place was taking place right here in Nairobi yesterday. So we take a look at the matches that were played yesterday. And the Lenana School played host to the second leg of the Homeboys Prescott Cup tournament with Ofafa Jericho High School beating Strathmore School in the opener to get back to the winning ways. In another match, Upper Hill overcame a spirited Nairobi School to win 22-0 in their position.
Ground was a bit wet, but as the game has been progressing on, the game is okay and the teams are playing and the kids are enjoying here. That's the most important thing for us here. We are happy that the game will be able to, in future, Kenya will be able to win and rugby will be able to grow and Kenya will be on the world map, competing with teams like New Zealand, Australia, England, Wales, because of these young guys here.
We came from playing a really tight game with Ofafa. They're a really good team. They played very well. They pulled out a challenge. The boys today played the best that they could. We gave our all. But at the end of the day, they proved to be the better team.
Well, let's move to some tennis now. Elora Academy in Nyando constituency, Kisumu County, held an award ceremony where young players received tennis materials, including rackets and balls, as a way of promoting the sport in the rural areas. The academy, which was established 6 years ago, is aimed at nurturing tennis talent in the region.
Our outreach programs we have in Butere Girls, we have also in Ebubai. We are filling these secondary schools with the students. So we saw it important. We share. The Bible talks more on giving than receiving. So that's what we've done. Would like to thank all our friends across Denmark who has made the donation very successful.
So this will also come as an example to other schools also to copy the same. And this, I think, it will take the heights of lawn tennis and tennis racket games on a higher notch.
I am also sure that this will go a long way in helping us raise standards of this sport in Vihiga County, because our beginning and developing of this game in our school actually means that the schools that participate in lawn tennis in Vihiga County have increased by 1.
I'm interested in this game because I heard a story from the Williams, Serena, and her sisters, Venus, about tennis. And the father said that he introduced the game to his daughters because he wanted to protect his daughters from a very wild and dangerous community where people are using drugs within the community.
Well, we have the confirmation Kenya Women's Sevens, that is the Lionesses will be playing the Lady Cranes Rugby from Uganda in the finals of the Africa Women's Sevens. But before we get into that, yesterday night we had the Awakening Boxing tournament right here in Nairobi at the Impala grounds, and Edward Kitili was there and filed the following report.
What a night we have been having here at the Impala grounds, of course, here in the outskirts of Nairobi, along Gong Road. We've been having the Awakening Boxing Tournament being held here to try and return the glory days in the boxing era of in the country, of course. Now we have been having 11 bouts in the night. We are originally having 2 title bouts, but one was cancelled after one of the boxers was disqualified for some reasons, healthy reasons for that matter. And in the remaining 10 bouts, we have different winners in the category of lightweight. Consolata Masanga of Kenya outweighting Salma Abdallah of Tanzania. And of course, we also have Daniel Wanyonyi of Kenya versus Jacob Maganga, where Daniel Wanyonyi had an easy task. We can call it a walkover of the Tanzanian.
It's my first time to fight in Africa. Kenya is my first time experience to fight with African boxer.
How do you take the fight for you? How was it, the experience of fighting against a Kenyan?
It was great experience for me, and it was like unique experience for me. Like for this people and crowd, it's nice.
Well, I'm joined here by Christopher Musanga, Consolata Musanga, who has just won with the TKO over Abdallah from Tanzania. This has been an thrilling fight, but too easy for Consolata, or has it been? Just get some reaction from Consolata. Now, just tell me how it is like to feel register a victory in the bunch and the lightweight. First of all, congratulations for your victory. Unapilaje kusia ushindi?
Mimi nilikuwa natarajia ushindi, na tena boxing ni akili. Nukutrain hard na kwenda roti kabisa, ukuwe na pumzi, ukuwe na nguvu na kufanya sparring kabisa. Nilikuwa nimengoja game kwa hamu.
Hii matokeo imetokana na kazi mzuri nimeifanya kwa gym nikiwa chini ya mfunzi Julius Yodhiambo, vile mnamjua, coach mzuri. Ni ule coach alitoa Konje, akatoa Zarika, sasa ni mimi. Kwa hivyo upande ya mazoezi nilikuwa nimejiandaa vizuri kwa hii mchezo na matokeo imekuwa mazuri.
Hii game nilistuliwa mwezi 3 iliyopita, ambapo nilikuwa nimejiprepare vizuri, ambapo kufika leo sikuwa na wasiwasi yoyote sababu maandalizi ilikuwa poa.
Hiyo win inamaanishaje kwako na una focus kwa nini sasa tukisonga mbele after this?
Hiyo win inamaanisha mengi kwangu sababu naona ni kama ndoto yangu imeanza kufufuka. Kuna belt mingi hapo mbele zenye zinafuata hii. Hii ni kama ya kwanza hapa Afrika. Kuna WBC. Sasa na focus kupata kama hizo.
Those are some of the reaction the players here who have been here fighting it out. The boxer from as far as seen, they're telling that has been in action for 8 years. And the experience in Kenya is all wonderful. Saying that the next thing now is just to organize the Kenya versus India bout, where he wishes just to all the wins. In other results, of course, we had Aziz Colombo of Kenya versus Charles Kakande of Uganda in the cruiserweight category, with, of course, Aziz taking the victory home in the country. Of course, we had, of course, George Onyango versus JJ Ngotiko of Tanzania, with George Onyango of Kenya emerging the victor. And, of course, in the most celebrated fight of the night, we are having it, the UBO vacant international bantamweight that was between Gabriel Ochieng, a.k.a. Ochiniga, of course, taking out Ramadan Kumbele of Tanzania, with Ochiniga emerging the victor after some controversial from the judges. What a night we've been having here. It is all celebratory from the reaction of all the players and the government officials who are here. It's all about taking the sporting, that is the boxing sport, to the next level and organizing more events like this, try and boost the game in the country.
course, Edward Kitili was the Impala grounds yesterday night where the Awakening Boxing Extravaganza was taking place. So now we want to run through the winners from yesterday's matches. Remember, we had two bouts, rather two fights that were title fights. That's the UBO International Bantamweight title. It was on the line yesterday. It was vacant, so it was occupied yesterday. And we had Kenya's Gabriel Ochieng taking Ramadhan Kumbele from Tanzania. And that match ended in a third round KO where Gabriel Ochieng was the winner. Now, Consolata Musanga of Kenya also defeated Salma Abdallah from Tanzania. Musanga won in a third round on a technical knockout. These were not the only boxers that were in action yesterday, so we take a look at other boxers in action yesterday. UBO, the international super middleweight category. Kenya's Daniel Wanyonyi was in action against Jacob Maganga from Tanzania, and Wanyonyi won in a second round technical knockout. We take a look at the other categories that were on the line yesterday. Remember, Kenyan 22 boxers took part in the Awakening Boxing Extravaganza. So we moved to other categories that took part, that we had rather yesterday in the bouts that took place. Now, the UBO International Cruiserweight title, we had Aziz Colombe from Kenya taking on Charles Kakande from Uganda. And Aziz, who was taking part in this match for the first time, won on the fifth round technical knockout. So we also take a look at the other results from the bouts that were staged yesterday. In the international welterweight category, we had Jojo Nyango from Kenya defeating JJ Ngotiko from Tanzania on the fourth round on a technical knockout. So we also take a look at two more fights that were staged yesterday in the Awakening Boxing Extravaganza. The results are from the bouts that were staged rather yesterday. These are some of the results of the boxers that emerged the winners. Now, in the super welterweight category, Kenya's George Owano was defeated by Pradeep Carrera from India. Pradeep flew in to take part in this Awakening Extravaganza, and he managed to defeat George Owano from Kenya on the third round. So those are some of the results from the bouts that were staged yesterday at the Impala grounds in the Awakening Boxing Extravaganza. Now, moving away from the Awakening Boxing Extravaganza, let's move into the National Super League, where Ushuru moved to within a point of the league leaders, Western Stima, following a 3-0 win over Nakuru All-Stars in an FKF National Super League match played on Saturday. At Camp Toyoyo, a goal apiece by Kaliana Ndolo and Alex Sunga and Baron Jobita were enough to hand Ushuru the win.
Andrew Nyanga na ungoje, lakini kwa visivyo hatari wanapata bao la ufunguzi. Makosa wanapata bao la ufunguzi. Vijana wa timu ya Black Stars halikuonekana kwa sababu huyu kipa alikuwa afanya, huyu defender naye alikuwa afanya nini? Kisha kipa pia timing yake kawa mbovu. Wengine wakati wamevalia vishati, wengine wamevaa jasho. Cheza kule wanajifunga, ndio wanajifunga wenyewe. Dakika mbaya sana
Well, those are the results from the match beating Ushuru in the National Super League. We take a look at the other results from the matches that were played yesterday. Now, Nairobi City Stars emerged with a 3-2 win over Coast Stima. Then Ushuru, the match that we've just highlighted, ended in a 3-0 win in favor of Ushuru over Nakuru All-Stars. Isibania suffered a 4-0 defeat at the hands of Bidco United. And then Kibera Stars settled for 1-1 draw against St. Joseph's. These are the results from the matches that were played yesterday in the National Super League. We also have KCB getting a 1-0 win over Talanta Kangemi, settling for a 2-0 win over GFE 105. Kenya Police losing 3-1 to Nairobi Stima, and then Kisumu settling for a barren draw against the Green Commandos. Those are the results from the matches that were played yesterday in the National Super League. Now, just a confirmation, Kenya will play Uganda in the finals of the Africa Women's Sevens this afternoon at around 3:38 p.m. Remember, Kenya beat Madagascar 27-0 in the semi-finals, while Uganda beat Tunisia 10-5 in the semi-finals. The two teams will be renewing rivalry in the finals of the Africa Women's Sevens. Remember, South Africa will not be did not take part in this competition because they pulled out to prepare for the 7th World Cup that will be held in July in the USA. We want to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll be talking about Kitui Sevens. Remember, it is the 2nd edition, and in studio, I have with me the officials, the tournament director, that is Benjamin Ayimba, and also Honorable Patrick Koki Musa, who is the Minister, rather the CEC for Tourism, Sports and Culture. Remember, we also have the results from the Champions League match that was played yesterday night, and also the NBA playoffs, but we'll be taking a look at that after the break.